There's a joke I used to tease my friends with in high school where I'd ask, "You're in a boxed room with no doors or windows, but you have a mirror and a 2x4. How do you get out?" The answer is nonsensical. As it goes, you look in the mirror and see what you saw. You take the saw, you can cut the board in half. You take the two halves and make a hole, and then you just crawl out. I know it's a mean joke, but I'm telling you this because Caligram Studios' Phoenix Springs is built on a similar foundation of creative wordplay and excellent set pieces. While playing an early demo, my brain was instantly reminded of that joke puzzle. No, Phoenix Springs isn't an escape room, but its puzzle system explores mental prisons through clever wordplay and investigative challenges. Each puzzle feels like a layered metaphor, requiring you to break down concepts and piece together subtle clues, much like navigating a labyrinth of thought rather than a physical space.
They never completed the job, and the place was left to rot. Is that why it's boarded up? No, he says, the orphans are to blame. They set up camp next door. They rummage through bins, break into empty properties, even try to sell him his own rubbish after he throws it out. Scavengers, he calls them. No good scavengers.
Phoenix Springs opens with a mystery as players assume the role of reporter Iris Dorman, who has just arrived at Phoenix Springs in search of her brother. She doesn't have any emotional connection to this town or her brother, or so she assumes. Similar to the clues you'll be following, Iris is a puzzle herself. Her inner monologue and determination to talk to, look at, or use every object on screen provides plenty of scenarios for players to follow leads and unpack this mystery. This is a point-and-click adventure where players must guide Iris to interact with objects and people by clicking on them. As I mentioned, Iris can talk to, look at, or use anything, but some selections will be met with confusion if they don't make sense. Fans of the genre might be confused about the progression system of Phoenix Springs. Instead of gathering objects and using them to progress the narrative, Iris instead uses a word bank players can access at any time to combine with objects on screen. An early example is combining Iris's brother's name with a box of personal items in the scene. This instructs Iris to find something related to the chosen word. This system gains depth quickly as you navigate other scenes, gaining access to new words and progressing the narrative. It adds a level of manageable challenge to the genre that forces you to think outside the box and get creative. The environmental designs and presentation of Phoenix Springs give everything a cyberpunk feel, as if the game takes place in the same universe as Blade Runner. The dark color scheme and stylish transitions makes it easy to stay engaged in the scenes. The scenes themselves seem to have a way of tapping into your imagination as it takes you deeper down the rabbit hole. The writing further sets the stage for immersion with an added level of respect for the genre, as Iris nearly scoffs at the player for asking her to talk to a trash can. It reminds me of other entries in this genre, such as Broken Sword, which isn't afraid to be a little cheeky. This low level of humor is a nice contrast to the overall mystery that leads you to unknown places. The late game puzzles will ultimately solidify this point-and-click adventure. I'm hooked on the sci-fi themes, world design, and mystery, but I'm holding out my final thoughts until I play the entire game. At this point though, I can confidently say that if you're a fan of point-and-click adventures and want an experience that shakes up the rules a bit, Phoenix Springs should be on your wish list. Luckily, you won't have to wait too long because Phoenix Springs is coming to PC via Steam on October 7th, 2024. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.